Uh, may I make a reference to something that you said?
Sure.
Hello?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
You were referring at one point to the early verses of Genesis 1, maybe verses 5 and forward, and you said that was a very unfortunate rendition or interpretation. Do you remember that?
Sorry, you said that I said what?
You said that it was an unfortunate or very unfortunate interpretation in the Bible. Do you remember that?
I may have said that it was missing. The way it was translated was poor translation. When it says that the evening and the morning is the first day.
Very well, very well. That's exactly what I thought that you were referring to. Yeah. Well, do you have any explanation for your assertion or your viewpoint?
What is the meaning of the evening and the morning is the first day? What does that mean?
Well, to me, if you accept it like that, you would have to start the day when the night comes, right? Which doesn't make sense.
When it says that the evening and the morning is the first day, okay, let me ask you, how many hours are there in a day?
That is a very good question. That depends upon who you refer to. If in John 11, you find that Jesus, Yahushua, said, are there not 12 hours to the day? He is saying that there are only 12 hours to the day. But if you believe, as I heard somewhere, that the Babylonians were the first to invent the idea that the day has 24 hours, then you believe, like most people nowadays, strictly believe that a day has 24 hours.
Okay, I have a question for you. When do you keep the Sabbath?
What?
When do you keep the Sabbath?
Well, I keep the Sabbath the same manner that you keep the Sabbath.
So when do you keep the Sabbath?
I have answered you. I keep the Sabbath the same hour that you keep the Sabbath, when the sun rises on Sabbath day. Hello?
Okay, so do you use the moon to keep the Sabbath, or do you use the Gregorian calendar to keep the Sabbath?
What's the question again?
Do you use the moon to keep the Sabbath, or do you use the Gregorian calendar to keep the Sabbath?
Oh, you use the Gregorian calendar to use the Sabbath? Is that what you ask?
Do you use the moon to keep the Sabbath, or do you use the Gregorian calendar to keep the Sabbath?
Well, if I understand correctly your question, it would be definitely the moon.
Okay.
But you'll excuse me, we are deviating, it seems to me, from the original thing that we were talking about. I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't mean that, but we were talking. Yeah, are you with me that probably the first people who interpreted or translated the sacred scriptures were the Babylonians, and the Jews did not have punctuation marks, right? They did not.
What evidence do you have for that?
What?
How do you know that the Babylonians was the first people to translate the scripture?
Well, I can only come to that conclusion because they were the first real invaders of the Jewish people, and they must have taken away everything. And they probably, I'm not saying because I cannot say for sure because I do not have the historical evidence, but I presume that they translated the scriptures to Babylonian language. And since I think you know that the Hebrews did not have commas or semicolons or periods, the people who translated the scriptures from the original Hebrew or Aramaic had to grapple with where to go and how to understand it in order to put their punctuation marks, if they had any at the time, to interpret correctly the scriptures. You see?
Yeah. So this is just a theory. You have no evidence. You're just making an assumption. So
yes,
if you so there's no evidence to that. There's seven.
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
To what specifically you were saying? Well, never mind. You continue, please.
Okay, so there are 24 hours in a day, 12 hours of daylight, and 12 hours of nighttime. So when that happens 7 times, you have 1 week. There's 24 hours in a day. There's 7 days in a week. That's how it works. So what exactly? Do you have a question, or do you? Because I don't understand exactly like what exactly we're talking about. What exactly are we? Do you like?
Well, okay. May I continue now?
Yes. So why did you call? Like what exactly? What are we talking about here?
Well, you see, I understand exactly what the scripture says, that God separated the night from the day. So there is no good reason why we humans should call the part that is day and the part that is night, we should call it day, because that's confusing. That's confusing. The day is day and nothing else, and that's 12 hours. The night follows the day, and the night takes on the how do you call it? The date of the day that it falls on or after, and that's why it is called part of that day. But what God separated, we should not be uniting. I believe the Sabbath begins when the sun comes out, but I believe also that the Sabbath terminates when the sun goes down. And the scripture in the New Testament, and I think in the Old Testament, if I should study it more concerning that point, it tells me that the day is only 12 hours. And you see, since the Hebrews did not have punctuation marks, they did not have a semicolon, for instance. What I interpret verse 5 to say is, and there was evening, semicolon. It separates that from the day, which takes the, how do you call it, the date. The day was the first. God, Yahweh, gave the ordinal numbers of the date to the part of the day. That's how we understand that the day begins with the sun coming up and the night follows the day. As a Seventh-day Adventist, I was for many years thinking, wait a minute, Sabbath begins on the night before. But when I read how do you call that? Leviticus 32:22, where it speaks about that singular day on the 7th month, which is the expiation day, the Day of Atonement. That proves that we cannot apply that verse, because that verse is strictly in context. And if you are consistent with the night first, then it doesn't fall right, because it doesn't even encompass the 10th day itself, which is to be a day of denying oneself. But I don't mean to put you in any fix. I'm very pleased that we could talk briefly. I had begun preparing a letter for you, but you know how difficult it is for us to express ourselves clearly sometimes. I'm pleased to speak with you. I hope we can speak another time, if Lord willing. I guess I'm willing to listen to you further. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
How long have you been keeping the lunar Sabbath?
Could you repeat, please?
How long have you been keeping the lunar Sabbath?
Oh, the space of a year. And I had to study it, because you know how Seventh-day Adventists have been keeping the Sabbath on a Friday start, right? Just to answer your question, I have been a year strictly with the lunisolar calendar and studying and listening to your tapes, which are very clear for the most part.
Okay. Are you familiar with the feast of unleavened bread?
A little.
Are you familiar with the feast of unleavened bread?
I am familiar a little. I have not practiced it.
Okay. So during the feast of unleavened bread, in Leviticus 23, we are told to clear out all the leavened bread in our houses. We're supposed to remove all the leavened bread. There's not supposed to be a leavened bread in your house. You're supposed to only have, if you want to have a bread, it has to be an unleavened bread. All the leavened bread has to be cleared out. Anything that has leaven in your house has to be cleared out. That's Leviticus 23. Okay, so I have a question for you. So my question for you is, when it says for you to remove all the leavened bread in your house for 7 days, when it tells you to do that, like the Lord says in Leviticus 23, when it says to remove all the leavened bread from your house for 7 days during that feast, do you only remove it in the daytime, or do you remove it in the daytime and then bring it back at night? When it says for you not to eat unleavened bread for 7 days, do you only not eat it in the daytime? Can you eat it at nighttime? Like, can you just not eat it in the daytime, and then you can eat it at nighttime and bring it back into your house at nighttime?
I like that. I like that, because that is the same argument that fellows in 119 Ministries put forth, and listening to them also, because I have listened to various people concerning these matters. I don't quite. It's hard for me to trust that kind of rationale.
No, I'm just asking you a question. It's a very simple question. You believe that the day is only 12 hours from morning to evening. So I'm answering you. I asked you, do you know about Feast of Unleavened Bread? You told me that not that much. You know about the feast a little bit. So my question is, there's a law in Leviticus 23 that tells you to observe the Feast of Unleavened Bread for 7 days. And on that 7 days, you're supposed to clear out all the leavened bread in your house for 7 days. And you're not supposed to eat anything that has leaven in it for 7 days. My question is very simple. And that question is, do you only not eat leavened bread only in the daytime? And can you bring it back to your house, inside your house at night time? It's a simple question.
Okay, I think that you think it's a simple question.
Shouldn't you do that? If you believe that the day is from morning to evening, shouldn't you only eat leaven only? Shouldn't you avoid it only at the daytime? And then isn't it okay to eat at night time? Is it not okay? Is it not okay to bring it back into your house at night time? Wouldn't you do that?
It isn't. No, because it isn't a question. It shouldn't be a question of argument.
No. It's not an argument. It's not an argument. I'm asking a very simple question. There's a law that says, you told me, you are the one that told me that the day is only from morning till evening. Okay, I'm not arguing with you. All I'm saying is, I'm asking you about a law that says that you're supposed to avoid unleavened bread for 7 days, and you're supposed to eat only. You're supposed to avoid leaven, any bread, cake, whatever, anything that has leaven. You're supposed to avoid it for 7 days. 7 days. And you're supposed to eat anything that has leaven, the unleavened bread. This is a very simple question. So I'm asking you now, my question is, if you are to observe that law, which we do observe, which I do observe, and many people do observe, if you observe that law, would you observe it only in the daytime? Would you eat leaven at night time and bring it back into your house at night time? It's a yes and no answer. It's not a tricky question or whatever. It's a simple question. I'm asking you based on what you believe.
To answer your question, no, I don't think that I would bring it in at sunset into the house. No.
Why? Why wouldn't you bring it into your house at night?
What?
Why would you not bring it into your house at night? Because according to you, the day is only from morning till evening. The day is only daytime. Because I'm talking about a Sabbath day here. Okay, Feast of Unleavened Bread is a Sabbath day. The Feast of Unleavened Bread is a Sabbath, according to Leviticus 23. So if you believe that the day is only from morning till evening, so why won't you bring those leavened bread back into your house at night? Why won't you eat them at night? Because the law says to avoid them for 7 days.
Brother, what is your name, please?
You can call me a brother.
What?
You can call me a brother. That's fine.
Well, but if I were to send you a written letter, would I write brother as your name?
Brother Coming Kingdom.
Brother?
Okay, you still haven't answered my question.
I have been able to answer your question.
What is the answer to the question that I just asked you right now?
I already told you the answer.
You told me that you won't bring those leaven back into your house at night.
Yes, that's exactly what I told you. That I will not.
So why won't you bring it in?
But brother, I have no other explanation to tell you because your question seems to be polemicist. Your question seems to be an aggressive.
Okay, if you believe that the day is only from morning till evening, and you're told to stay away from unleavened bread for 7 days, and that's a Sabbath day. That feast is a Sabbath day. Okay, so my question, you told me that you will not bring it in at night. I said, all right, my question is, why won't you bring it in? Because according to you, the day is only from morning till evening. So it makes sense that at night, you should be able to eat leavened bread. You should be able to bring it back into your house at night.
That's where you seem to be wrong. It doesn't follow that just because I take out at sunset, I would be able to or want to bring it back in.
Okay.
You're
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
that.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. No problem. Okay. So I have another question for you. So, according to that law in Leviticus 23, if I avoid unleavened bread, if I avoid unleavened bread in the daytime, and then at nighttime, and I eat it at nighttime, remember that the law says to avoid it for 7 days. 7 days.
Yes.
Just 7 days, okay? Okay. So my question to you is, if I call you on the phone and I say, hey brother, can I eat unleavened bread at night within that week? Within that week of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, can I eat it at night? Can I bring it back into my house and can I eat it? Simple question. Yes or no? Simple question.
Well, if you want to, you can bring it back. If you want to.
Okay. So if I eat,
if you bring it back in, you'll be breaking the law.
Oh.
If you bring it back in.
What law would I be breaking?
Huh?
Why would I be breaking a law if the day is only from morning till evening?
Because you have it in see, the way I look at the situation with day and evening is that activity occurs during the day, and the evening is made for rest or for sleep or for non-activity. The importance of a week are the days. God, Yahweh, said nothing about the evening. He did say that the light was good.
Okay.
He said that the light was good.
You just told me now that if I bring back that leaven, remember, I keep reminding you the law. The law says don't have unleavened bread don't have leaven in your house for 7 days, okay? And you should not eat leaven for 7 days, okay? So if I take it outside in the daytime and I stay away from eating it in the daytime, can I bring it back into my house when the sun goes down, and can I eat it at night, like say 12 midnight? Is it sin for me to eat it at that time?
I'm sorry, I did not understand your what you just said.
Okay, you believe that the day is from morning till evening, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a law in Leviticus chapter 23 about the Feast of Unleavened Bread that comes right after the Passover. My question to you is, if you believe that the day is only from morning till evening, and the Most High told us to avoid leavened bread for 7 days, and we should not eat it or bring it back into our house. My question to you is, can I bring it back into my house at night, say like around 12 midnight? Can I bring it back in, and can I eat it at night and avoid it only in the daytime?
Well, obviously, the answer to that, and I believe it is correct, you don't want to bring it back in. You don't want to, because you would be disobeying the cleanliness of not having it there during the days. You would not bring it back in.
Can I eat it at night?
No.
Okay, so you are literally contradicting yourself right now, because if you believe that the day is only daytime, then I should be able to bring back leavened bread into my house at night. I should be able to eat it at night within that 7 days. That's very logical. This is. I mean, what are you talking about? I should be able to eat it at night if the day is only from morning till evening.
Let me ask you one question.
Sure.
Do you believe that Yahushua is God?
No, he's not God.
That's where we differ. Do you believe that he is the Son of God?
So you believe that Yeshua is God?
I believe Yahushua is the Son of God. And God doesn't procreate animals or strictly human beings that say that the Father is his Father.
Yeah. So do you still believe that the day begins from morning till evening and not 24-hour period?
My brother, in John 11, Yahushua asks a question. Does not the day have 12 hours, he says?
Yes. Yeah, of course. That's daylight. That's daylight period. Daylight period of time is from morning, from dawn to evening. That's 12-hour period. That's what he was saying. That's what he was saying.
You think that when the Holy Scripture speaks of a day, it is a 24-hour day? You have the perfect right to believe that.
Okay. So the thing is that I'm going to ask you again. There's a law in Leviticus 23. Can I eat leavened bread at night? Say like after 9 p.m. or after 10 p.m. Can I eat leavened bread at night within that week of Feast of Unleavened Bread? And if I do eat unleavened bread, am I committing sin?
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, you don't know about that. So you're not sure of what you believe in.
No. Hey, look, I'm subject to being corrected.
You should be able. You should be able to give me a very strong, powerful answer, which is yes. If you truly believe that the day is from morning till night, from morning till evening, then of course, logically, I should be able to eat leavened bread at night after the sun goes down. If you truly believe that the day is from morning till evening, I should be able to eat it without committing any sin. But you're telling me no, that I cannot eat it. And when I ask you why, you cannot tell me why. So do you really believe that the day is from morning till evening? Or do you believe it's from dawn to dawn?
What I understand up to this point is that the day begins at sunrise and terminates at sunset.
Okay, so when do you keep the Sabbath right now? Do you keep Sabbath from dawn to dawn or from dawn to sunset?
The second one.
Okay, so you keep the Sabbath from dawn to when the sun goes down.
That's correct.
So you cook and you buy after the sun goes down.
I could, yes.
Okay. Okay. So I think do you have any other question for me? Because usually when people call me, they have a question. You've been doing this for about 1 year, for about a year right now. I think you have a lot to study. Pretty much, I've already done a video about this issue even before you begin to keep the Sabbath. So you can look around me in my channel. I did a video that says the day begins from dawn to dawn. I will encourage you to watch that video because I did break down the problem with Genesis chapter 1, which that problem was actually in King James. The King James version was poorly translated. I show all this in that video. I will encourage you to watch that video, and you can call me back at any time. The day is from dawn to dawn. That's if you cook when the sun goes down, you're breaking the Sabbath. Our Heavenly Father did not work for 24 hours. Our Heavenly Father created. He worked for 6 days, and then he rested on the 7th day. We're supposed to keep the Sabbath from dawn to dawn. It's dawn to dawn, not evening to evening. That's when we're supposed to keep Sabbath. Hey, get your Bible. Do you have a Bible right there? I have a question for you. Do you have a Bible next to you?
I have a Bible.
Okay. Could you? I have a question for you. I want you to explain something to me. Could you open up Matthew 28, verse 1?
One moment. Matthew 28?
Matthew 28, verse 1.
Verse 1.
Yes.
What are you saying that I should look it up now?
Yeah, could you open it up, just that verse? Could you explain it to me? I'd like you to read Matthew 28, verse 1, and explain to me what it means. I have a question regarding that.
28, one moment, please. Matthew 28, verse 1. I think I'm familiar with that. 28, verse 1.
Yes.
Now, here it says this, at least in this version, it says, the Sabbath passed. Now, listen. The Sabbath passed when it was beginning to break, the light to break on the first day of the week. Mary Magdalene and the other Marys went to the sepulcher. Hello?
Okay. So, why didn't they go there when the sun went down the previous evening?
What?
Why did they not went to the tomb? Why did those women not go there when the sun went down that evening? Why did they have to wait until dawn?
Well, I suppose why did they have to go, you say, why did they have to go in dawn, during the dawn?
Okay.
Well, because
so what you just read right now, okay, is talking about the women that went to the tomb where Christ was laid, okay? They really wanted to go there. They desperately wanted to go there, but they could not go. They had to wait until the next morning. My question to you is, why do they have to wait until the next morning? Why could they not go there with a lamp when after the sun went down? They could have gone there with a lamp. Our ancestors had lamp. Why did they not went up to that place at the evening when the sun went down after the Sabbath? Why didn't they go there with a lamp that evening? Why did they have to wait until the next morning?
Well, in another verse, it says that when the Sabbath finished, they went out and bought stuff and prepared it to be able to embalm him.
So my question is, why didn't they do this that evening?
Well, your guess is just as good as mine. I mean,
I'm not guessing. No, I'm not guessing. I am not guessing. I'm asking you, why did they not go there that evening? I know why they didn't go there. So I'm asking you, do you know why they did not go there that evening? Do you know why they had to wait until the next morning?
Well, in the desert, you'll fall over the rocks if you walk at night.
No. Jerusalem was not a desert.
What?
People traveled at night. Christ was arrested at night. People moved around at night. They weren't falling over themselves. Christ was arrested at night. The Passover was at night. They were able to move around very freely and smoothly at night.
All I can tell you is that this verse that you suggest says the Sabbath passed. It doesn't forcefully bring you to think that the Sabbath passed when the sun was coming up.
I'm just asking, why did these women not go there at evening? Could you explain to me why they couldn't go there in the evening?
I know you're probably thinking that I'm making jest of it, but I'm not making jest of it. You seem to want to get out of me a reply which I cannot give you.
So okay, listen. The fact that you cannot give me an answer shows that you still have a long way to go. Now you've made up your mind already that the day is only 12-hour period. Okay? I don't want to sound arrogant or put you down or anything. You have been doing this for about a year. Okay? It's not really a good idea to take this kind of a stand, because there are certain information that you have not seen. There are some things that you still need to see, and I've put those things together. That's why I recommend that you watch that video. You don't have to watch it. All I'm asking you, keep studying about this. For you to make up your mind, the video I was telling you, I made it probably about 2 years ago or more than 2 years ago. So the reason why they couldn't go there is because they were waiting for dawn. The day is from dawn to dawn. Sabbath is from dawn to dawn. That's why these women wanted to go there so bad. They definitely wanted to go there, but they could not go. They had to wait for the next morning for the Sabbath to be over.
So you and I are in agreement, brother, that the day does not begin with the evening before.
No, the day is from dawn to dawn. These women waited until dawn before they could go to the tomb. They could have gone there in the evening because people moved around in the evening. When Peter denied Christ, Peter did not deny Christ at the evening. They arrested Christ at the evening. People moved around very smoothly. These women could have gone there with a lamp that evening, but they could not go because that was still the Sabbath. They had to wait until the next morning at dawn, after dawn, before they could go to the tomb because that was their Sabbath. That's why they had to wait.
Brother, in other words, you and I are in agreement that the rendition of the Genesis, those verses that say it was the evening and the morning, day one, is badly done, isn't it? I'm sure that.
No, we're not in agreement. We're not in agreement. Okay, we're not in agreement. The day begins from dawn to dawn. I'm telling you, there's a problem. A poorly translated Bible, which is King James. That chapter was poorly translated. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. I asked you, the first question I asked you, the very first question I asked you, listen, the very first question I asked you was, what does it mean that the evening and the morning was the first day? You couldn't really answer me that question very well. So I think I don't really know where we're going right now. I don't know where we're going with this. I'm sure in the next 1 hour we'll still be on the phone. So I don't think I can change your mind. I'm not here to. My job is not to change your mind. I present what I present. If you want to accept it, you accept. If you don't want to accept, that's up to you. I provide the evidence. I provide the scripture. I provide the historical evidence and everything that could be put next to what I'm telling you. So you don't have to accept it. If you're keeping the Sabbath from morning till evening, and you buy or sell or cook in the evening, you're breaking the Sabbath. So I don't want to for us to keep doing this because we're not really getting anywhere. I can't convince you. You can't convince me, and I can't allow you to convince me because there are still things that you have not come across. Okay, I'm pretty sure that you haven't. I've been doing this for many years now. Okay, so you still have ways to go. When it comes to this, I don't know. I don't think I can help you. I don't think we can get anywhere with this because you believe that the day is from dawn, from morning till evening. I've asked you a question about the feast that we're told to keep on for 7 days. You could not answer me that question. If you really know what you're talking about, you should be able to answer me this biblical question. I'm asking you a very simple biblical question. No, it's not a tricky question. It's very simple. Considering those Bible verses, you should be able to give me an answer. But you couldn't give me an answer about Leviticus 23 when it comes to the feast of unleavened bread. It was supposed to observe for 7 days. You couldn't answer me that. So this is we're not really. I can't really help you. I don't even know if you needed some help. I think you just called to correct me that I'm wrong for believing that the day is only from dawn to dawn. You called to correct me. Well, thank you very much for calling. Do you have any other question relating to this?
Any what?
Do you have any other question relating to this? Because you called to correct me. You called to tell me that I'm wrong for believing that the day is from morning till evening. When I ask you question, when I ask you question relating to that, you cannot answer it.
Well, I'm not trying to tell you that you're wrong. I'm not trying to.
So why did you call?
I'm trying to speak with you, and let you know how I came to the conclusion that the story, the situation in Genesis should be perhaps divided by a semicolon the night from the rest of the sentence, which puts the day as exclusively receiving the date, and of course the night following would pertain or belong to that date and to that day, but I also see and understand, I think, that God separated the night from the day, and that we should not be in a hurry to say that the day, because it's a contradiction in terms. If you say the day is separate from the night, and then you name both of them together as day, it's a contradiction. To me, it's a contradiction. If I say, for instance, that that's a door and that's a window, and then I say both of them are going to be called the door, well, that's confusing, because I already have a definition for the door.
Okay.
If I say that, if I say that
Okay.
the ceiling.
Okay. So here we go again. So you believe that Saturday? I'm going to ask you another question right now. I'm going to ask you a question based on what you just said right now. So based on everything you told me right now, so you believe that the Sabbath is only during the daylight period, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you believe that when God told us to keep the feast, it's only during the daylight period.
You say what?
Do you believe that when our Heavenly Father told us to observe the feast, we are only supposed to observe that feast during the daylight period?
No, because it isn't just that simple as cut and dry that you can do this and you can't do that at times.
When we are told to observe the feast, is it only during the daylight period, or how long is it? Simple question. It's not cut and dry. It's a simple question. We were told to observe the Feast of Unleavened Bread for 7 days. Is it only the daylight period?
I think my telephone has come to its finish. I thank you very much for conversing with me. It's nice to be able to speak with you. Some other time we may be able to speak again.
Goodbye, thank you. You too.